One final word about burnout, about moral distress, some of the things that are unfortunately very common in education and healthcare, lots of other professions right now. Burnout can't take away your value as a human being. You may feel like I'm used up, I'm not of value anymore. Certainly, I had times that I felt that way when I was in my extreme burnout, like I'm just not worth much anymore. Um, but burnout can't take away your dignity. It can't demote your value. It can't wash away what you're worth as a human being. You have intrinsic value. And I think you would probably say that about everybody that you work with. Say that about your residents, your patients, your coworkers, their families, etc. Remember that that's also true about you. If you're in a season of burnout, you may feel as though your value is lessened than it was before, but it's not true. Your dignity is still intact. Your value as a human being is still just as significant as it ever was. Um, so don't get to that place where you're telling yourself that you don't matter as much because you're so burned out. It can be a natural feeling. It can be a side effect of some of these things. But I want to be that voice that reminds you, someone who's coached burned out professionals, who's led burned out people in healthcare, who's been a burned out healthcare leader himself. Your value is just as it's always been. You are worth it. You are worth recovery. You are worth investment. You're worth your own investment in yourself to make sure that you're healthy. And none of that has changed because of what you've experienced. In fact, part of what you've experienced, as we've talked about before, probably came because you cared so much. And so, if you want to be angry at yourself for caring about your work, caring about, excuse me, caring about what you're doing, then I guess go ahead. But your value has not changed because of what you've experienced. So, just as a reminder, sort of to summarize what we've talked about, overcoming burnout really has to include two paths. One is organizational systems, culture, workplace, and what leaders can do to try to sort of burnout proof your team, your department, your facility, your organization. And then the second and related, but pretty much completely different path is the personal recovery. How do you personally recover? If the statistics are correct and nearly half of our coworkers are burned out, this is a message that we need to take to heart. How do we recover from our own personal burnout experiences? So thank you for participating in this. It's been a joy for me to share some of these things, to have the interaction that we're having. I'd be happy to connect. LinkedIn is a place where I post a lot of things, particularly about burnout and some of those experiences. So be happy to connect on LinkedIn or to have you reach out to me any other way.